So what does it mean to live a well-rounded life, and how can we get there together? Stay tuned and I'll share my thoughts on exactly that. Hello everyone, my name is Janae and I am so excited to be sharing with you all my thoughts on living a well-rounded life. I want to get something out there as soon as possible and just throw it out there. This channel is called The Well-Rounded Black Girl because I'm striving to live a well-rounded life, and I am a black woman. I am grown, obviously. Well-rounded black girl just kind of rolled off the tongue a little bit more easily. But I do want to say that most of this content I feel like anybody can relate to. Anybody can kind of jump into one of my videos and find a piece of themselves, find something that they may want to work on, something that they may want to address in their own lives. And so I don't want anyone to think that this is only for black women. I will be doing things that I feel like are specific to black women because that is my experience and that is my lens, and I am completely unapologetic about that. But I also want to be clear that most of the content on this channel, the way I have set it up so far, anybody can relate to it. And so I just wanted to put that out there and welcome you all. It doesn't matter your race, your gender, your religion, any of that. It doesn't really matter in terms of living a well-rounded life the way I'm going to define it. So what does it mean to live a well-rounded life? What are the things that I'm going to be talking about on this channel? So my content is going to be largely threefold and with some smaller niche series here and there. So I'm going to get into what that content will be. The first thing that I want to talk about in terms of living a well-rounded life is the process of self-reflection. That's actually going to be the topic of my next video, so hopefully you'll stay tuned for that. And I really just believe that self-reflection gives you the space to learn about yourself and to know yourself and to be confident in who you are, so that with whatever you want to do from there on, you can kind of make an action plan. You will know if this opportunity that you are presented with is in line with what you want to do because you've been reflecting periodically. And it doesn't mean every day. It doesn't even necessarily mean every week, but it just means that, you know, you're taking the time to think about who you are and why you are. What is your purpose? The second area of content, I guess I'll say, is kind of an offshoot of the first, and the second area is growth. So for me, it makes sense that when you reflect, you understand, like I said, who you are and why you are. When you then commit to growth, you are saying, okay, this is who I am and this is how I want to be. And so you're laying out an action plan as to how to become the person that you want to be. I have a dedication to always getting better. I love to learn. I don't like to be stagnant. And I just like to kind of exhibit some sort of mastery over the content or the topics, the areas, the concepts, the skills that I'm interested in. And so growing is a huge part to me of being a well-rounded person. I think that well-rounded can connote a sense of being a jack of all trades. That's what I'm trying to say. And in some ways, it can be seen that way, but in some ways, just being open to whatever comes your way and not kind of having a narrow focus. And so talking about growth to me means just kind of expanding not only the skills that you already have, but opening yourself up to new and exciting opportunities. So the third prong or like content area that I'm going to focus on in this channel is a little bit more outward facing than the first two, and it's not completely tied to the first two, but I do think that the first two lay a foundation for this third topic. And the third topic is leadership. And when I say leadership, I don't necessarily mean that, you know, you are leading someone, leading a person. You're not necessarily someone's boss. You're not necessarily out here leading a strong movement, but I feel like leadership is a lot about how you carry yourself and making other people want to be led by you when the situation calls for it. So again, you might not lead someone on an everyday basis, but maybe you come up with a project at work or something in your personal life where other people need to rally around you, and being able to have those leadership skills and those qualities and really understand how you lead, I think is super important. When I really began to understand my leadership style and really focus on growing my leadership style, I became so much more confident, and I feel like my voice became a little bit clearer. And I don't mean like the tone of my voice, but the things that I say to people, the things that kind of govern the way I want to live my life. It's so much easier to convey, my thoughts or my opinions or even the facts on a certain situation, because I know, in my leadership style at least, I tend to, gather all of the information and make informed decisions from there. And so there's no way, if you ask me why I'm doing something, or if you ask me about a certain topic that I'm talking about at the moment, to me, I need to know everything about it before I'm going to get up in front of people and like really rally around, get them to rally around whatever it is I'm trying to do. And so, like I said, leadership is a little bit more outward facing than the other two. Obviously, reflection and growth are a little bit more internal. But I think it's so important in order to be able to live a well-rounded life and have the people around you understand what that means for you. And then, like I said, there will be some smaller, more niche series that I will do. I might do them every month. I might do them, every other month. They're going to kind of come up on this channel as they come up for me in life. And so, for example, I really, really want to write a book one day. And so I might do a small series of 3 or 4 videos about what my process for writing looks like, whether I'm brainstorming or outlining or whatever. That might not be something you're interested in, but I do want to try and tie in most of those series back to the content of my larger channel. So I might talk about writing a book, but I also might talk about how I'm overcoming self-doubt in the writing process. Because I have a lot of self-doubt. I'm a work in progress and not an expert on anything, but just somebody who's passionate about a lot of things. And so, like I said, I might do a video on how I'm overcoming self-doubt in this writing process. Now, you might not want to be a writer. You might not care about that at all. And that's perfectly fine. But you might want to know how I've overcome self-doubt, like the tips and tricks and just what I did to get myself out of that kind of mindset. So that might be something that you're still interested in. So I encourage you to just look around, make sure, even if it's something that you're not necessarily interested in, there might be something in there for you. So that's my content, and I just want to talk really briefly about my goals. I have 2 goals. 2 goals for this channel, and they are very simple. The first is just to share my thoughts and to help other people. Now, that could mean, going back to the example of reflection, that can mean helping people who are not naturally reflective, hone those skills. It might mean conversing with someone who is also a naturally reflective person about, okay, what do you do? How can I incorporate some of your activities into my wheelhouse, the things that I do every day? Basically, I want to be able to not only share my thoughts, but learn from you all as well. And that actually leads itself really well into my second goal, which is to build a community. As I said before, I'm not an expert in most of the things that I'm going to be talking about on this channel, but there are things that I'm passionate about. There are things that I really want to put out into the world, and there are things that I want to have a conversation about, things that I want to learn from other people about. And so maybe you completely agree with me on one of my videos or topic I'm talking about, and we can talk about that. Maybe you completely disagree, or you have another way of doing things, and I can learn from that perspective too. So down in the comments and on my social media platforms, I would love to just facilitate conversations about some of the things that I'm talking about. So if you leave a comment down below that says, I don't know if that'll work for me, and somebody else sees it and says, well, I do this, that's perfect. I'm a person who believes that in general, we as people have everything we need inside of us. We have everything we need, not necessarily the knowledge, but the ability to acquire the knowledge, certainly we have. And I just think sometimes it takes a situation or a person to unlock that piece inside of us that gives us access to that thing. And so I feel like if we get a collective here that's really committed to living a well-rounded life and really committed to reflection and growth and being better leaders, that we can all learn from each other and we can all grow. We can all, achieve. It doesn't have to be just a few. Again, I'm so excited to be doing this, and I am going to be releasing videos every Thursday. If any of this interested you, or if you want to see if it's going to interest you in the future, you want to see what some of those little niche series that I'm going to put out are, please subscribe and click the little bell. They make you jump through all of these hoops just to get to the content that you want to get to, but that's perfectly fine to me. Just, hit those 2 buttons. Also feel free, leave a comment, welcome me to YouTube. I have had a YouTube channel before, and it was book related, and I might go back to it at some point. So I'm not entirely new to this, but welcome me anyway, because I'm welcoming you to my channel. Let's just do a round of welcomes. Why not? Also, my social media is all linked below, so if you want to connect with me on Instagram or on Twitter, please feel free to do so. That's what I'm there for. I definitely would love to connect with you. With all of that being said, I tend to be a pretty talkative person, so I'm just going to go ahead and cut this right now, and hopefully you enjoyed the intro, and hopefully you are looking forward, like I am, to what's to come. Thank you. I'll see you in the next video. Bye.